X back on the spot once more with the bittersweet pillow that I've swallowed. I'm happy that Bafana Bafana are eliminated, but at the same time, I'm sad that it happened. Or should I put it vice versa? I'm sad that Bafana Bafana got eliminated from the AFCON, but I'm glad that it actually happened. So, in this video, I'll share with you two things that made it possible for us to be eliminated before even kickoff in Rabat against Cameroon. So, let's not waste any more time. Let's go straight to it.
Yeah, what can I say? I think everyone is very disappointed and sad that we are eliminated today.
I'm actually happy that it happened, Hugo Bruce, and I'll explain why. Look, the coach is so disrespectful. Never have I met a coach that's so undermining like Coach Hugo Bruce. And now it made things clear because I couldn't understand in the first game, the second game, and the third game how come the crowd was jeering us. But now it all makes sense. It now has fallen into place. Look, Coach Hugo Bruce, from the time he started coaching Bafana Bafana, has made it clear that he doesn't actually, or he's not actually a fan of Arabic football. I'm talking about the region of North Africa specifically because I won't include the Asian side of football. But I want to include the North African side of things where there's your Tunisia, your Morocco, Egypt, and Algeria, to name the least, the most successful Arabic countries in North Africa. So, Coach Hugo Bruce, if you remember with Percy Tau, the time he was playing for Al Ahly, he'll probably be, shut out from Bafana Bafana squad. He'll make all those excuses about the North African football. And that also dates as recently to Tembinkosi Lodge being at Wydad Casablanca. Now, this has created some sort of This has created some sort of a rivalry between the regions, the COSAFA region and the North African region, or should I say, the United Arabic Football Association as a whole. So, Coach Hugo Bruce comes out, he makes those comments about the North African football. Probably it's not good enough if our players get to go play there. They'll never play for Bafana Bafana, whatever excuses that he made. In fact, listen to this one, which was more recently in the AFCON, and you'll get to understand why the atmosphere, the environment for South Africa as a whole was bad in Morocco. Take a listen to your coach, what he had to say.
This is something that I feel also. I don't feel the same vibe what I felt in Ivory Coast and what I felt in Gabon. There's no, I don't know how to explain it, but you know, in Ivory Coast and in Gabon, every second of the tournament, you felt that you were in a tournament, and the people when we went with the bus to train, the people were waving and they were with flags and you see nothing. So I don't know, but yeah, there is no vibe. There is no typical Afghan vibe. I don't feel them here. Really, it's cool. It's okay. We play the game and nice stadiums and everything you want. And you see, if they don't let the people free in the stadium, there is nobody. Nobody is coming to watch the game. South Africa, Zimbabwe. Nobody came to see the game South Africa, Angola. In Ivory Coast, well, okay, first game was Mali, but Tunisia and Namibia. There was crowd in the stadiums. They were involved. The people was involved in the tournament. I don't feel that here.
Wow, this man is unbelievable. It's either he's crazy or he's suffering from amnesia. Okay, you talk all those things that you've spoken before, then now you come out, you want to compare the two tournaments and you're saying you're not feeling the vibe, you're not feeling the mood and all those things. It's like people are not supporting South Africa or anything of that sort. Yeah, you must be crazy, honestly. You come out in public, you make all those comments about their football, about their leagues, about our players not having to go there, they shouldn't go there, they go there, they're not gonna play for our team. then you expect what? They're gonna just shower you with flowers, etc. when you come into their country. I mean, Coach Hugo Bruce is not only a blatant liar, but you can see there's some sort of a tyrant in him. I mean, it reminds me of his former king, the late King Leopold. Funny enough, he doesn't mention Egypt. And that was our second game in the group stages. He's talking about Angola, Zimbabwe, but he's not mentioning about Egypt. Do you think the people from Morocco actually support Egypt? No, they don't. They might be of the same faith, but when it comes to football, they don't. Because they also want to achieve what they only achieved 50 years ago, and that's their only AFCON victory. While Egypt has been dominating this tournament, so do you honestly think Morocco, and that game where we lost 1-0, it was actually the Moroccan people that was actually jeering us? Hell yeah, it was the Moroccan people that were jeering us. I mean, we are an enemy of Egypt. At the same time, we're an enemy of Moroccan football or Arabic football as a whole. And you expect they're not going to be united against South Africa? Oh, come on, really? And this actually brings me to my next talking point, the team chemistry. After those childish remarks that Coach Hugo Bruce made about the North African football, do you expect that Umbekezeli TLP Mbogazi would be high in his spirit to play for Coach Hugo Bruce after the comments he made about him, his agent, and definitely about Orlando Pirates for his transfer to Chicago Fire? Do you honestly think that he'll be motivated to play for you after the comments you made, after how you behaved and how you even handled the situation? I mean, this coach must be crazy, really, because there's no way the team could be highly spirited to play for a coach that if they get a move, wherever it is internationally, you're going to look down on it. You look down on Cassius Malula's move. You look down on Pesitau's move. You're even looking down on Begezeli TLP's move to America. Like, who the hell are you? You're not a football god. Definitely you're not my god. You're not a South African football god. So just because you qualified us for 2 AFCONs and a World Cup, that doesn't make you a god, Coach Hugo Bruce. That I will make clear. That is our problem with our journalists, There are some of our journalists that have been kissing his buttocks left, right, and even where the sun doesn't shine. Coach Hugo Bruce is some sort of a tyrant, some sort of a dictator in a way. And we're glad that we did qualify for those things, but they were inevitable. They were going to happen. Fikile Mbalula, once he made that comment that you guys are a bunch of losers, that already triggered in the South African footballers' DNA that I cannot be a loser. For as long as that comment was made, we have to do better. So whether it was Coach Hugo Bruce or not in the helm, South African players were going to do better than what they were doing either way. So my point here is basically this. We have journalists that are laying a platform for even the coach to make excuses. Let me actually put it up for you so you can understand. So earlier on in this conference, he did make a comment about logistics, how difficult it is for him and the players to go to the training grounds, etc. But we have our own journalists that actually laid a platform and emphasized the situation as if you don't know these things happen in international tournaments. But listen to what he had to say. I actually started from the question and the response of Coach Hugo Bruce so you can have better understanding of what we actually had to put up with and why we were eliminated from the AFCON tournament. Take a listen.
To go back to your earlier comment about the traveling to the training grounds, just how important are logistics, because people back at home might not be aware at times of some of the challenges that you face at a major competition.
I don't want to give more comment on that, but I think in a tournament like AFCON, that training speeches can be closer to the hotel than 45 minutes. That means that you lose 1 hour and a half when you have to go to train because you're in the bus. It never happened. I was in Gabon, I was in Ivory Coast, till now, in Morocco. I never had to drive more than 15, 20 minutes. So I think that there should have been another pitch here closer to the hotel if you organize games. But yeah, okay, it is what it is. But I just wanted to tell you that I'm not happy with that.
Oh, my friend. Look, our journalists are our weakest link. Yeah, our weakest link is our journalist. They're not asking any proper questions. If it wasn't for the BBC guys, the ESPN guys, and even the freelancing journalists, probably wouldn't have even gotten the content that I needed to understand what is going on in terms of football. But when our journalists are laying a platform for Coach Hugo Broos to make those excuses, we had already lost. In fact, in this tournament, we had lost before it actually began. Because now it's clear with the comments that he made, the atmosphere was going to be hostile in Morocco. So we got what we deserved, trusting in a coach who his methods were questionable from the start just because it produced results. It was still questionable. And now I'm not sure. Is he still fit enough to take us to America, Canada, and Mexico? We have our example here with how we were treated in Morocco because of the comments he made before. And now he has made those comments about TLP and American football. Or should I say American soccer But this is what it is. Coach Hugo Broos, for me, is not fit enough to take us to the World Cup. Yes, he qualified us, but is not fit to lead us into the World Cup. So, I don't know, guys. Drop your comments as well, If you first time you're tuning in, you can also hit the subscriber button. If you like this video, share it with your family and friends. Coach Hugo Broos, I think his time is up, honestly speaking. There's no evaluation that is needed. We need a native coach. Honestly speaking, one that knows exactly what we need our football, one that can also respect the players, one that can also respect the dreams of the players as well. We don't need any dictator in our football. So I just kept on the video here. There's a lot to talk about, but at times it's also frustrating talking about Coach Hugo Broos. It's also frustrating to talk about the prospects, where we're going as a national team. But I'm also glad that we got eliminated. We can now reflect. Our players, especially our Orlando Pirates players, are fit. We can now resume our domestic quest. And that's it, basically. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in, Parajuju. Till next time, I'm glad that we have marked our spot. And I'm out.